Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of The Lion King. Now, The Lion King is a live action or CGI realistic adaptation of the classic Disney film The Lion King, made for the modern day and with, again, realistic CGI. So it looks like actual animals in these roles and it looks incredible. The animation in this film is fantastic. That's easily the best part of this movie, in my opinion, is the animation, because it looks spectacular. You can barely tell that these are CGI animals running around, and everything just looks amazing on screen. And there's just no doubt that that's easily the most impressive and just breathtaking part of the film. Just the first 5 or 10 minutes of the film, as I was watching it, I had to consistently remind myself these are not actual animals on screen, and it's all fake, and it just looks amazing. The songs in the film are also another highlight, I think, for the most part. They are all sang very well. All the actors generally give good performances. Donald Glover as Simba, Beyonce as Nala. They all do good jobs in their respective roles in that regard, and I enjoyed the songs for the most part. I also feel like the key moments from the original film, which they really had to make work well, such as Mufasa's death scene, as well, and the final fight to get from Simba to Scar. Those moments, I think, worked the best, in my opinion, as well as the opening scene where it's the big Circle of Life song happening. Those are probably the 3 biggest scenes, and I think that they knocked those out of the park, in my opinion. They had the same intensity as the original film, and they were just extremely fun to watch on screen. Now, this is very much a scene-by-scene adaptation of the original Lion King film. It doesn't really do anything new, and that, I think, is its biggest fault, ultimately, because with movies recently like the Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, they were adaptations of classic Disney films, but they did their own thing with the material. They adapted the same story, but they had their own twists with it. And I think that that's what made it ultimately unique, and the reason why I actually enjoyed those films for the most part. This one, it doesn't really take any risks, honestly, and it ultimately just feels kind of boring after a point, just because you know how the story is going to play out, which you would think is a good thing. But I would have loved to see just some unexpected things, like maybe some background Scar. I think it would have been awesome if we could have gotten like a little prologue, like 5-minute scene or something, showing Mufasa and Scar as young cubs or young lions, having to fight over either the throne or Sarabi, or just something which ultimately results in Scar getting his scar and his nickname. I think that would have been really interesting and would have given a little bit more of a depth to their relationship. And it's something that they allude to in the actual film with some dialogue where it is implied that they had a big fight at some point, which did not end well for Scar. Just something like that would have fleshed out some of the characters and added something more new to the actual film, and it would have made it a little more interesting. Because again, while it does act as a very faithful adaptation to the original film in regards to the story and certain scenes, and it just feels like a page-by-page adaptation, which, I don't know, it loses a lot of the magic that the animated film have. Even the I Just Can't Wait to Be King song towards the beginning of the film, even that just felt very lackluster because they couldn't really do a lot of the fun animation stuff with the animals and whatnot as they did in the original film, and so it just didn't seem quite as entertaining or as exciting. So that being said, I was a little bit disappointed by The Lion King. I think it's, like I said, it's a good adaptation. It does its job well in that regard at adapting a very 20-some-year-old story and film to the modern day with modern technology. It looks fantastic, the songs work fine, and the big moments are captured really well. It just loses a lot of the magic that the original had, and that's just really a big shame, because a lot of the other live-action films that I've seen and really enjoyed, like the ones I mentioned, didn't have that problem. And I thought that they brought their own version of magic and kind of kept the spark that made those other films unique and classics alive, and this one just unfortunately didn't. That being said, I would still say it's worth checking out if you are a fan of the original, just for the sake of seeing it, because you might have a different reaction than I do. Because I don't know. I think it's still worth checking these films out just to see what they can do with the technology and how their films are being brought into the modern age. But it's up to you. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know your favorite live-action Disney adaptation thus far. That's going to be anything from like Maleficent, which is a very rough and newly translated version of Sleeping Beauty, or it can be something as recent as The Lion King or Sleeping Beauty or Dumbo even. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.